Hello everybody, and today I'm just looking at this WWF bootleg board for a friend. He's having trouble coining this up in his cabinet, so I've just stuck it on my test bench and we'll see if it coins up or if it's a problem with his cabinet. So let me just get the power. I need to make this remote, it's a pain in the ass to get to. Okay, we're on. There we go, picture. Let's adjust the sound. Oh dear. We've got some dry joints. Oh dear. Yeah, got a few dodgy capacitors there. All three of those are bad. That do being sorted out. Need to turn it down. Yeah. Got a screwdriver handle? No. There we go. Yeah. Right, let's see if it coins. Move these leads out of the way. Press the coin button. Oh, it doesn't coin. Yeah, so he's right. Nope, definitely not coining. Let's have a closer look at the input circuit there. Right, so what I've done is I've basically hooked this test probe onto the ground. And I can basically try manually pinging the coin input. So you can see nothing's happening. So if we have a look, get my wires tangled up, if we have a look at the coin input, we can see it's basically shorted to ground, whereas it should be actually tied high by a resistor. If we look at another input, you'll see that one's high, so the coin one is shorted to ground, so this definitely does not coin up. So let's see if we can see anything obviously wrong. Okay, so this is the coin input pin. And it basically, if we follow the traces underneath, it goes into this IC here, which is a 74367, and this is a resistor pack here, I believe. Let's have a look. What's it? Yes, it's a 2.2k resistor pack. There's pin 1. I'm guessing that'll be tied to 5 volt, which is that there. So we'll check that in a second. And then each of those will be a 2.2k segment, which is tying high these input pins. So we'll check that on the bottom side now. Right, so I've got one probe on the 5 volts, and I've just traced this track out with put some pen on the back so I can see where it goes. And the track basically goes to this pin here on the 367 IC, and then this row here is the resistor pack. So if we check that, it's going to be hard to do, but basically that's now showing me pretty much 0 ohms, so that is tied to 5 volts on pin 1. Now each of these will be a 2.2k segment, so you can't see this but I can, that's showing 2.2k. That's showing 350 ohms. That's the one that's actually tied to that pin on the IC. 2.2k, 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 2.2k. So yeah, so I think these are all 2.2k apart from this one. 350 ohms. Right, so it's very likely that it's the resistor that's failed because it was actually showing a low signal. So it's more likely that the junction inside the IC is broken down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip the IC pin and then we'll see what we can read after doing that. Okay, so we're just doing some measurements from the top side now. So my red lead's on the 5 volt line and my black lead is on this pin 2 of this IC here. Now if we look at the meter, we are getting 382 ohms roughly. So I suspect this has got an internal short, or failed junction anyway. So let's snip that lead off and see what readings we get. Right, if you look closely, you'll see I've actually separated the lead from the body. There's actually a bit of lead still in the IC, but the lead that goes into the board is located down there. So if I get my black lead, we're seeing around 400 ohms. If this is the lead that's connected to the board, so this is connected from this is going basically from across this trace here into this resistor pack, so we expect to see 2.2k, and yes, we do. We see 2.2k, so my suspicions were right. That IC has an internal short, and that's what's causing the problem, so the resistor's actually fine. Right, so I've desoldered the faulty IC and I've fitted a socket. This is just so you can see my soldering. Just got a bit of alcohol left, I've just been cleaning it up. I'll flip the board over. And there's the socket fitted. Now I just need to go and get a 367 IC. I should have one of those in stock, hopefully. So that's the new 367 fitted. And what I'll do is power up the board and see if it works. Oh, straight away it works. So that was the fault. Oh, well, the sound's gone funny again. Can hardly hear it. Damn capacitors. That needs sorting out as well. Can't leave that like that. Right, let's see what happens. We start again. I can't tell if this is working fully or not. Yeah, it seems to be. I got punch and kick. Bit of graphic glitchy as well. Seems to be working. What I do is sorting these capacitors out. Okay, and I've replaced the bad capacitors with brand new Panasonic caps. Now the volume adjusts fine. And there's no more intermittent connections anymore. So that's working reasonably well now. I just wanted to show you, this is the 220 UF cap that I removed, and it's actually leaking. So you can see that one's way beyond its service life. So, now that the board's been repaired, I just wanted to go over the full story of this. A friend of mine bought this from another collector. I don't actually know who it was at this minute in time, but it was sold as fully working. Now, I don't normally repair bootleg boards like this, as this board's probably worth about half what my hourly rate is for repairs. So it's never cost effective to repair this sort of board. But as you know, I was doing it as a favour because my friend wasn't sure if it was his fault or if the board was faulty or if his cab was faulty. So I've obviously identified it was actually the board that's at fault. So basically what I'm willing to do is a deal. I will charge a very small token amount for this repair, and I expect the seller to pay that because this was supposed to be a working board and it definitely wasn't working. And if the seller pays that, then fine, you know, all done and dusted, no problem. If the seller refuses to pay, then I think he should be named and shamed for selling a non-working board as a working board. So it's up to the seller basically whether he wants to resolve this or not. I'll say I'm going to charge a very small token amount, just you know, as a goodwill gesture. Let's see how it goes.